guys, welcome to the first ever episode 37 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one half of the coolest dudes in video games.
One of the coolest dudes in video games. The coolest dude in video games.
No, you're one half of the coolest dudes.
Won.
You
I've
and Colin
beaten
by
him.
yourselves are not the coolest dudes, but together
did
you
wrong.
are the coolest dudes. What?
You and Colin, rest in peace.
Uh-huh.
Are the coolest dudes.
To be fair, he just went to New York.
Hard
He's
to
not
have
dead.
him. He's dead. Can we just
Still cool.
Can we start the race? Still cool
is
in the
cool.
afterlife form.
Yeah. All right.
He's playing Mad Max up in the big game of the decade.
Nick's here too.
Hi.
And we have a very special guest here.
Hello.
Danny Shepard.
What up?
You might know him as Danny LeShep on Twitter.
Yeah.
You might know him as Ismahawk on YouTube.
Yeah.
You might know him from the Nightwing series.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. He does a lot of cool VFX stuff. You should definitely go check out all that stuff. We talked all about it on Game Over Greggy Show. You should check that out. YouTube.com/kindafunny. It'll be going up as this video goes up day by day.
Real quick,
All
you
of
play
that
video
stuff.
games too, right?
Of course.
All right, great.
So that's why he's here. So we're not talking about him.
Well,
this whole
I
thing.
know from previous experience that's not really a prerequisite
No,
for this
it's
show.
definitely not for the Kind of Funny Games guy.
Last week we talked about towels for like an hour and a half.
I used to be an assistant manager of Game Crazy. You
The
remember
fuck's
that?
a Game Crazy?
What?
They used to be.
Attached
Oh,
to
the
Hollywood
Blockbuster.
Video.
Uh-huh.
Was it the
Hollywood Video, wasn't it? Or
was
no,
it
Game-
Hollywood or Blockbuster?
It was Hollywood Video.
Really?
Fuck
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you don't know shit
We
about
don't
Game
have
Crazy.
Hollywoods here. We had one Hollywood.
We
that
had a
fucking
Hollywood here
carried.
back in the
That's
day.
why they
on
went out of
California.
business.
Yeah.
Did you have the whole
I like that
whole like chain link fence motif as well?
Yeah.
That's such a terrible
It's
motif for a game store. I went in there, it was like hell in a cell every
Oh,
time. I
shit.
didn't know what I was getting into.
Wait, Kevin.
Games are supposed to be urban.
Was that the Hollywood in your ceremony? You're right. All right, it was a Hollywood. You win everything. You're so fucking right, Greg.
Thank you, the coolest
Yeah.
dude in video game. Rest in peace, Colin Moriarty, bitten by a shark.
But he's still cool. But anyways, we're here. We're gonna be talking
New
about
York.
video games and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm real excited. All right, so
At first I thought it was a joke, but is it real? Is that how you answer every question in the affirmative? Yeah.
before we
I
get
like that
into this,
positivity. Yeah.
This is the Kind of Funny Games cast. It's pretty much the Game Over Greggy Show, but it's about video games. Day by day, we talk about whatever the hell we want to that has to do with video games. Monday through Thursday, broken up topic by topic at youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. If you want the whole thing early, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Pay some money, things will happen, and you will like it. Is this one worth that money,
Yeah.
Danny? Is it?
Always. Yeah.
It's not always, but this
Do you
one
wanna-
will be.
You know how I know? Because at some point I'm going to ask Danny to take his shirt off. And it's definitely going to be worth
That's
the
going to
money.
be worth that money. Yeah.
Danny's like a male model.
Oh my god.
Imagine if you bought really nice tube socks and you put a bunch of rocks in them. That'd be it, because you'd have, like the definition, like the muffle, the definition.
Really nice tube socks. Why do they need to be nice? Why not just tube
Because
socks?
then they're like nice and tight, and they're in the shoot looking thing, and then you put the rocks in, you can see all the rock definition.
Yeah. Nick's arms have been looking like that
What
recently.
part? What?
I don't know how to describe muscles.
Have you seen muscles before?
Okay.
Thank you for the compliment, by the way, Tim. I
So,
appreciate that.
the first topic. No, before we begin to the topic, we have so much other rigmarole. I did okay, but I fucked up one thing. I
You
didn't
didn't
mention
fuck up
this.
anything. You're having a
I
great
know.
time.
This Gamescast, sponsored by the Stealth Action Game. What's it called, ladies and gentlemen?
Volume.
It is called Volume.
Like
There you go. We
Bithel's
got the
Volume.
Beautiful, beautiful poster. I like it.
It's out now.
Yes.
Is that it?
Where's it out?
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were doing your
I
rigmarole.
don't need to read it.
It's on PlayStation 4, of course.
It is.
PC is coming to PlayStation Vita eventually. You'll get it cross-buy if you buy it right now on PlayStation 4. Of course, this is the follow-up from Mike Bithell, the man who made Thomas Was Alone. It's already
Another
done
little-
better than Thomas Was
little darling.
Alone or whatever.
Good.
Andy Serkis is in it along with some other actor. They always name check on that thing that I don't know.
just have
It's
the short one
fun.
written down,
Stealth
the long
gameplay.
one.
It's funny. You should get it. It's great.
Yeah, check it out.
I'll tell you something about Mike
There's a Let's
Bithell.
Play up on Kind of Funny Games. Yeah. Really
I've
nice
met
guy.
the man a couple times. And you ever meet someone and you instantly vibe with them?
Yeah.
Like, I have a pretty offensive manner, like a demeanor. I said something to him and he fired right back, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be fast friends."
So
Fast friends. Something
comes-
about a dick, like a
there's
big
no-
dick or something.
Fast people don't have friends; they have family. And Mike Bithell is family for sure. The cool thing about him is that you meet people and like you can define him by one word. He's cheery. He's the cheeriest
He is a very
motherfucker
cheery
that I've
guy.
ever met.
He's
And
a
then
cheery
he
guy.
makes games like Volume. So go check that out.
Very talented. Man.
Very, very talented. All right. So the first topic of the day. I'm sorry, Danny. You're not going to have much to say about this because you aren't
Get
addicted.
the fuck out
yet.
of here.
I'll just chime in with yes.
Yeah.
Why can't we stop playing Metal Gear Solid 5?
Because it's too damn good. The gameplay is too
Holy
good.
crap. So this game is very special for so many reasons. You okay, Portillo?
He's still getting over his bug, so sometimes
yeah,
he
something
takes
is-
Darth
what is-
Vader
what's
breaths.
going on there?
That's a whisker. He has whiskers. So
No, he's
can
got a
see.
little
has
fluff
one
out of his
little
mouth,
whisker.
too. He's
That's
got.
the
It
fluff.
looks
there it
like
is.
he ate a chew toy.
Well, when you're fucking 3 inches from the ground, anything that's on the ground gets sucked up to your face. Ask Kevin.
God, yeah, you beat me to it.
All right, so Metal Gear Solid's taken over everything. Like, it's taken over people that don't play games lives. Like, Nick is
Yeah.
addicted to this shit.
Yeah, man.
Twitter, it's all anyone's
I
talking
get
about.
tweets about it all the time, and I get tweets from people who say, I never played a Metal Gear. This is the Metal Gear you've told me. You know, your Let's Plays, you guys talking nonstop about it, the Bombcast talking about it nonstop.
Yep.
And I'm totally hooked on it. Yeah.
But that's the thing, everyone is talking about it
Yeah.
nonstop. It's hard. I'm sure there's gonna be comments like, "Oh my god, you're talking about Metal Gear again." It's like, man, have you
Too
played
bad.
it?
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you because the moment you play it, you'll get it. You'll
Yeah.
understand why we can't stop talking about this. This is one of those few times that I miss still working at IGN because you'd go and everyone's talking about the same shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we have that. It's just really small, and then the internet makes it really big.
Mm-hmm.
But like from all my friends at IGN that I've been talking to, there's like, yeah, everyone's just fucking talking about it, and they're so addicted to it. The problem is, we have Colin Moriarty in the house.
Yeah. Mad
So,
Max, Mr. Mad Max.
He's
over
Mr.
there.
Mad Max, and it's just like I always feel bad talking about Metal Gear with him because
I'm turning up my nose at the Metal Gear series.
Rest in peace, Cole.
yeah, he's dead and cool. But whenever he's around, it's like it's not that he sucks the fun out of it. It's that I feel self-conscious about being too, big about this game and talking about it too much or whatever. But then the moment like me, Kevin, and Nick will go to Starbucks, the entire walk is just talking about. And then in this mission, I did this. It's like, oh, in that mission, I did something
The
different.
next time you feel that, just remember one of the fucking 15,000 political topics where you and I have done this. And just fucking talk about Metal Gear.
I know. But I think there's a difference, though. Like, this is something that I know that we're all passionate about. And you, so
Yeah.
what's your case on Metal Gear 5? Why aren't you playing it right fucking now?
So the reason why I'm not playing Metal Gear 5 is not because I don't want to play it. It's because I love the Metal Gear franchise. And I know if I play it, I'll stop working on the things that I need to be doing.
Your YouTube
because,
shows.
Yeah, the YouTube videos that I've been making and all the stuff that goes along with that. And if I start playing Metal Gear Solid 5, then I know I'm gonna get sucked in it, and I'm just gonna want to play that, and I'll just be thinking about, all right, so I can do this, or I can play Metal Gear Solid 5,
Yeah.
or I can sleep, or I can play Metal Gear
That was
Solid.
last night. Yeah.
And I mean, that's every night. That's been every fucking night for me, where it's just like, I just want to do one more mission.
Here's what I want to rewind.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes for you too. When I came back from a week of playing Metal Gear and wanted to shut up about it, my eye was all swollen and hurt from playing too much Metal Gear. Did you think did you chalk that up as that's just Greg being a Metal Gear fanboy, or did you think it was going to be as good as it is?
No, see, I saw you play the game, and I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna be fun." I just watching you doing the capture and watching the first the intro, notwithstanding, because that's so quintessential Metal Gear to me. Like, none of it made any sense to me, and
Yeah.
it took 15 or 20 minutes to just like crawl.
45.
It's like 45 minutes just to crawl out of a hospital. I was like, dude, this game's gonna be not my cup of tea. But then watching you actually start playing some of the
real
missions in
missions,
Afghanistan,
yeah.
I was like, dude, this looks like crack cocaine.
Did you sound like that when you said it?
But that's how everything in my brain sounds. But no, getting your hands on the control, this is the thing. Like, you're right. So if you got something you need to do, stay as far away from that game as humanly possible because it's got an addictive nature, an addictive element to it that I would not have thought it would have. I thought it was going to be a fun game.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, this is going to be cool. I'll play it for like 4 or 5 hours. But the fact that I am literally like, oh, shit, I don't have time for a mission, but I think I could bang out a couple side ops
Yeah.
real quick. And then, of course, in typical Metal Gear fashion, that eventually turns into a mission. You're like, fuck, like this is 2 hours. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then it's 1 a.m. and my wife's like, is there like a fucking war going on out here? No, but but it is one of those things that you're going to be up to. Like if you start playing it at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, you're going until 2
You're
in the
going to
morning.
3.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
just
been my
happening.
nights. It's just, I keep playing till 3. Now, what's funny for me is on Gamescast, I'm a very big Metal Gear Solid fan.
Yeah.
I played all of them except Peace Walker, so I'm in the same position you're in. And I've talked so much hearing you talk about this game. You came back and you're like, oh my God, I love it. That to me didn't sell it to me of like, oh, I'm going to love this because you love Peace Walker.
Yeah.
You love the things that I didn't vibe with. And so I was just like, and everything you're saying about the story not being quite there, or not necessarily that, but that it wasn't the Metal Gear style story, and that it's all about doing these missions and the side ops and the mother base and this and that. I'm like, I tuned out. I'm just like, I don't want this. This sounds like an open world game that I'm not into. I don't like this stuff. And then I started playing it, and it's like, I am wrong on all of those fronts. Every single one of them. The story, totally, it is not Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's Metal Gear Solid 5. It's a different thing, but it's still very satisfying. Every time there's a cutscene, I'm just as engrossed in it as I was the other games. And all the things I thought I'd hate, all the side missions and having the Fulton the people and like sending people doing combat, I am addicted to it. And I think it's because the game is so good at rewarding the players for doing stuff and to teaching them and slowly unraveling all the deep systems of this game.
Yeah, exactly. That was always the thing with like Peace Walker when I tried to show him that time and then talking to you about it or vice versa or
We
whatever.
did a Let's Play one time.
Where you jumped in and it was like I was 90 hours into the game or 60 hours into the game and I had all the stuff unlocked and you're like, this is overwhelming. But I'm like, it's not like this. And the same thing with 5. You watch me or hear me talk about 5 and where I am now 95 hours into this game and it's not where you are 4 hours in. You know what I mean? They slowly give you things piece by piece.
It's so cool that like the way they do it, it's like you beat a mission and then it's like the mission unlocks stuff that mission had nothing to do with, but it's very clear. It's like, all right, now you have the horse, all right? And then 2 missions later, it's like, okay, you unlocked the dog or whatever. And now and as you go, it tells you how those things work.
Right.
And it's like, oh, your base is there's too cramped, there's too many people, you need to expand it. Here's how you expand it. And it's all simple shit. It's not rocket science. And it's also not as micromanagey as I worried it would be.
Yeah, Peace Walker was.
Unless you want it to be.
Yeah.
And then you can do that. Like Kevin's crazy right now. And he's like trying to make sure that like they're all A's or B's.
Yeah, Kevin's
like,
kicking people out of his base.
Yeah, I am too.
He's like,
But
there's too many
that's
D's
not-
in my base. I need anyway. Like he's got a B or above like mentality. at this point.
So the guys are ranked.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
and
Everybody
they
had-
grow, they
Yeah.
learn, they like change and do different stuff. And it's like
Interesting.
But over time, it's very overwhelming, but it's not when you actually play the game.
Yeah.
And it is addicting and it's fun, and you want to do the things that you go in not thinking you're going to want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best
that's
thing
a
about a
perfect
video game.
example. That's a perfect way to say it. Where the things that I saw you doing in those Let's Plays, I was like, I'm not gonna want to go around Fultoning people out. I'm not gonna want to go around doing base management. And then I started it, and it reminds me a lot of, and I know I talk a lot about this, but it reminds me of scanning planets in Mass Effect 2, where you're like, that looks so dumb, but I spent 20 hours doing it because it's kind of relaxing. It's not. There's no pressure to building your base. You just get to sit back and upgrade weapons. You're like, this is fun.
I've done all the side ops, 157 done, and so now I'm just going through and S ranking everything, and I'm not even doing the mission objectives, right? Because I feel those conflict sometimes with getting S rank, which is get in unnoticed as fast and get out as fast as possible. But like the number of times where I'm in there, I'm like, all right, scan, and then I hit somebody and he's like all S's. And I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna not even S rank this mission. Now I'm gonna capture everybody. I'm just bringing everybody home. And what are the mission tasks? All right, you know what I mean? Like that pivot on a dime because you see something there, it's too tantalizing that you can't stop.
I know, and that's the thing. There's that, like, and they do that on purpose. And there's some really good game design elements in it. Where I feel like there's the one level that I beat a while, maybe like 2 or 3 days ago, was the one where you have to take down like you have 8 tanks or 8 vehicles. Armored vehicles.
Yeah,
and you have to figure out how to take all of them down. And then midway through, they're like, "Hey, boss, there's a prisoner in there that would be really awesome if you can." I'm like, "I'm not getting that guy.
Yeah,
sorry, no, I'm not. He's dead. Like, I'm not gonna do
buddy.
it.
I don't got time to go over there.
I got 3 tanks coming out. I'm planning my supply drops so they're en route as I'm going to the next tank. I don't got time for this shit.
Yeah.
Something that's crazy to me about the game, though, is how repetitive it is. Where pretty much there's so many missions, and they're all the exact same thing.
And most of them are the same.
Take out
environments,
heavy
too.
artillery number 11. You're like,
it's either take out a tank or it's Fulton this guy or kill this guy.
Right.
Like that's all. Those are really the 3 missions, and they just do them over and over. And every mission, you land the helicopter, then you have to run a ridiculously far length, or use your horse, or use something else. And then there's this base, and you need to infiltrate it and get the guy out, and then get back to the helicopter every single time. Watching streams of this, because randomly I've been looking into YouTube gaming stuff, so I just will peek over and look at stuff, and I see people stream Metal Gear, and I'm like, this is boring to watch. This is like, oh great, it's someone holding down the L3 button, watching Snake freaking run,
right,
for so long up mountains and doing stuff, and I'm like, this is so crazy because playing it is not repetitive at all.
Right.
It is not any of that. It is so much fun, and I think that's kind of the brilliance of the game, is that they allow you to just do the same things over and over, so you learn your play style and learn how you want to play the game. You can just do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
Like, it's the best type of sandbox game.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do something, it's pretty much possible, and it's not difficult.
The gameplay and the tools given to you are so much fun that, they just by giving you the same mission 14 times and tweaking placements or how many people or like like when you're doing like the end level tank ones where it's like there's 2 helicopters and there's 4 tanks and they can kind of see, like again giving you a little bit more every time. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. It's crazy though.
I mean, I totally feel you and stuff. And it's like, for me, I look back and I'm like 95 hours in, probably a little bit more than that. I haven't checked the time recently, but I tweeted over Sunday about 93 hours. So I know I'm past that for sure now. And it's one of those, like, last night was the first night of like one of those gut checks of like, am I really going to platinum this? You know what I mean? I was doing Where Did the Bees Sleep Again, trying to S rank it right. And at the very end in the cavern, I got seen. I was like, fucking goddamn, you know what I mean? So then it was like I left one mission task on the table because I wasn't expecting to get seen there, and I was gonna try and fuck. And then I restarted it, and then I S ranked it, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like there's those like moments of just like, man, I feel like I wasted a lot of time here. But then going back and like, again, the first time through when I was like, I'm gonna S rank it, but I also need to pick up all these guys who have all this other stuff. Like, I didn't realize how much time I was burning. And so when I went back to do the mission again, and I was like, now's the S-rank playthrough, where it was like fucking just avoiding guys, and I shaved like 20 minutes off my time and then had them out. And I think I even got, they went into an alert because somebody fell down at some point or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I still got the S-rank. And that's a weird thing that I feel like the S-ranks are attainable. Everything in the game, it takes a lot of work and it's a lot of stress and it's this, that, the other, but it's all obtainable, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Whereas I felt like even in Ground Zeroes, there was things where I'm just like, that seems really hard and not fun. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Whereas this one, it's like, all right, Quiet kills me in one shot on the extreme battle. That's going to be tough, but I can do it. And I did it. You know what I mean? And I S-ranked and I was like, fuck yeah, all right. You know what I mean? Like, I can do all this if I put the time in, which is crazy.
See, I got to go back. This is the crazy thing about the game. Like, I obviously have blinders on when I play this stuff, and I'm not as tied into the community as you guys are by any stretch of the imagination. So when I got to the quiet stage, and I assumed it was quiet stage because I'd seen like just some of the trailers of her like with a sniper rifle. But I'm like, oh, it must be quiet. Maybe I'll get to her later. Because Miller's like, just get out of there, boss. I was like, all right. So I just booked it. Didn't get quiet.
but that's the cool thing about the game. You don't need to get quiet. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back and play that mission again, but unfortunately, it's tied into one of the longer story missions, so I'm still going through that mission. So I have to beat that first and then go back and do the side up.
But what's cool about it is that you can get quiet or not get quiet, and it doesn't matter really for like the core story. But what's awesome is you can go back and do it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Kevin about this. You find if you go through and like you're trying to like get the S rank guys or the A rank people or whatever, and you get caught, and then your mission goes from I'm gonna be sneaky to fuck it, everyone's dying because there's always that moment.
Yeah, it goes to the Die Hard moment very quickly.
And that is a great sign to me of how much I like this game because I just go in, I just want to fucking get to the end of the mission.
Right.
I don't care about ranking at all. I'm just blowing shit up. But every single mission, I start off trying to be sneaky until it changes, and like that's good. Like I'm trying to play the game correctly.
Yeah.
But
that's
what's
how
cool
I was
is
doing Ground Zeroes.
Just
go in quiet. Oh, I got seen. All right, mowing everybody down.
Now you all die.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like once that happens, you kill all the fucking A rank people that you wanted to get. You can always just do the mission again and get the people.
Well, I mean, as you come back, right, it all dynamically shifts.
Yeah.
So that's why now that I'm out there, I'm seeing so many S's, and I'm like, well, fuck, now I gotta all this goddamn S. You know what I mean? Because that's what I need. Like, I have the same thing of where I go through, and it's like, I'm so close to expanding the combat unit and medical base to the final platforms. I just need fucking more fuel resources, which is driving me goddamn crazy. It's just, but I'll go through. In that, I cheated a little bit because if you do FOB, you can get the early ranks of them, and then you're expanding without expanding the mother base. You know what I mean? Like you're still bringing in more people to use, which is great. But it fucked me over that I burned resources there that I should have gone into just finally maxing out mother base. Anyways. That diatribe. But like now, it's like I go through and I'm like, I'll keep everybody who has an A+ around, but everybody else needs to get the fuck out because I just don't even want to fuck with this shit right now. You know what I mean? And then once I expand the bases to their final thing, then it becomes, like, fuck it, it's only S's now. Like, you all need to go.
Jesus, my base is like the summer school to your base.
Well, no, but you're just where I was. That's just the thing. Yeah. It's like you have to level up the int scope, right, or whatever, so that you can see A's and A+, and then eventually S's and all that stuff. And when you're S ranking missions, get people who volunteer for it that are S's.
Yeah, well,
they come out and they're like, oh, I need.
How crazy does this all sound to you?
It sounds like Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's good.
Mother Base, does that actually play an integral part to the story? Like like in Mass Effect 2, you have the Suicide Squad or the Suicide Mission, and if you don't like level up your entire ship, then like people will die.
Sure.
So is it like that? If you don't have it at a certain level, then something changes
Please don't spoil
cataclysmically?
this.
Yeah, that's the line I walk with. This
Okay,
one.
yeah, then maybe
Because
I-
I'm assuming that's something like could be based on what happened in Ground Zeroes. Like I'm assuming something's gonna happen with Mother Base at some point.
maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's all a
mean,
dream.
spoilers aside, from a
So weird.
gameplay perspective,
just-
that's where all of your weapon development comes from, and all of your like item development and tool development. So
Yeah.
it's like you need to do that to be able to get better at the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
It's
to
like-
level it up.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like leveling up your character. You level up your base. You level up your.
Yeah, so like
the base is what levels up the
Yeah,
character.
the-
Because
yeah.
you have like research and development teams.
Yeah.
They're the ones that you're leveling up. They make you weapons.
Okay, that
yeah,
makes
if
sense.
you level up your intel platform, for instance, like the better that is, the more when you go out into the field,
They'll see stuff
you'll
for you.
see stuff. So like all of your resources that you need to go ferret out, it'll just be on your map. You're like, oh shit, I might buy a big thing of diamonds or whatever. I'll go get it. So
Okay.
it gets surprisingly, it's already gotten easier, I think, a little bit.
Oh,
'Cause
sure,
What
yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying
yeah,
is true. Like the game dynamically shifts when I go out there now, where I was just seeing people that were straight E's and D's.
Yeah.
I carried a dude around that had like a B in intel and medical for like 20 minutes trying to find a place where I could like had open air. So I was like, I'm just gonna carry this dude because this guy's a good find.
I need this guy.
I need
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
No, and that's the thing about going back now to S rank. I mean, I'm going back and playing these missions that I remember
Right.
you see on Kind of Funny Games that I'm struggling with. And now you just walk in there and you know not even their movements, but you just know how the game is and what the mechanics are. So you just run
feel
up there
for it.
and I have this silent sniper, so it's just and I'm like, I don't even headshot anymore. What I do is I just shoot everyone in the arm. And then by the time one drops, the other goes, and it's like dominoes down a line where they all fall passing out, but they all realize something's wrong, but they can't do anything. And then I just walk over
So
casually.
you fuck with them.
I wormhole Fulton everybody out, so it doesn't matter if you're in a building or not, because you just go up 1 foot and then you're into a black
What
hole.
the
that
fuck's a
shuts.
wormhole,
Yeah,
Fulton?
yeah, it opens a rift in space and time that the guy goes through, and then it shuts.
You're joking.
No, so then it's easier that you
That's
don't you
awesome.
have less. They don't get a chance to yell, so nobody gets to hear them, and it's not as visible. It is visible that people can see it around there, so
Yeah.
don't do it right in front of somebody. But like,
God, that's so awesome.
Metal Gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's Metal Gear.
so yeah, now, and that's the whole thing of like the payoff of both this Metal Gear and Peace Walker, and like a lot of them, right? The longer, but I think mission based ones especially. So Peace Walker and
And
5,
so,
and I
yeah,
used to
Ground
Ground
Zeroes.
Zeroes, right? Is the more you play, the more you play the stuff, the more you feel like Big Boss. The
Yep.
more you feel like this legendary soldier. Where in the beginning, like they joke around about it, right? Of like, you gotta get back in the field. Is it all coming back to you, boss? And da 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 da. And now it is like I have a fucking gold arm. I fucking watch these people take them all out. Nobody knows what's happening. They have no idea that they're even being attacked, and like everyone's being raped and pillaged.
That's I mean, that shit fucking happens.
You understand that, by the way. My wife watched me play this for like 2 hours, and she's like, "This is a weird game. What's going on here?" And
like,
she's
"I'm not
like,
even
"Where
gonna
do
try,
those
huh?"
guys go that you're attaching the balloons to?" And I was like, I'm just talking. I was like, "Oh, they go back to my base where one of my guys brainwashes them, and then they work for me like without asking any questions. And then if they get out of line, I go choke them until they ask for it harder." And she's like, "What the fuck is happening in this
Yeah.
game?"
That is like the whole
really weird.
brainwashing thing. I always give them a pass on because they're just PFs. They're just private forces or whatever. So they're just working for the highest bidder. They get there. We're fighting for something great. That's easy enough to. And some get thrown in the brig and they have to be coerced. Whatever. But it's the ones who like. Why don't I just have a salute button? Why
Yeah.
do I have to beat the fuck out of everyone at Mother Base? Like, all right, like. And this is the best. Is like when I'm just trying to do this one thing that I did on a medical platform. That's a Let's Play up. That's labeled Huge Spoiler. But like, I'm just running back there. I'm just trying to finish this fucking thing, and it's just like you run up. It's like hi, like I'm like curb stomping people's face into the bars of Mother Base.
Thanks, boss.
Yeah, I know, right. Thanks, boss.
The worst is when you come across Kevin in the game, where you go to choke him, and he's like, "Oh, boss, harder." He like asks for it harder, and you're like, "God damn it, Kev, get away!" from
I've
me,
never
Kevin."
heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
When
you
I get
just
something in
punch him, that's why.
chokehold, it's just ting, 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 and I don't ever hear it.
If you interrogate him, the guy goes, they'll tell you where shit is around your base, but then 1 out of every 5 guys is like, "It's an honor to be held in your grip, boss." And if you do it again, he goes, "Harder."
Nice.
It's disgusting.
But 90% of the time, they're just like, someone left a bunch of diamonds everywhere.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You're like, "Go get the diamond, put it in my
Yeah.
safe."
Yeah, I know. And you understand we need this, right? Get
Yeah.
the GMP. And will somebody fucking go find fuel? I got biological material coming out my underwear. Can I please
Oh
get
my God.
some fucking fuel resources up in this
hilarious.
piece? And
Oh
this
my
is where it
God.
all comes back to. I talked about this on Colin and Greg Live today, and I talk about it a lot of just how like microtransactions are a dirty word. You know what I mean? I would pay Konami straight up right now for fuel resources. Let me just finish it. I mean, you know what I mean? Because like I get what I'm doing and I understand it's not. For me, it's just that delayed gratification. I'm going to get to it eventually. I'm going to eventually, on the road, when I'm doing all these S ranks, find the rest that I need to max out these 2 things. But it's like, come on, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's where things get a little tricky because it's not difficult to get it in game, but it's also not that easy.
Right.
So I think the microtransactions.
I also haven't done the great Google that I need to do of just like
Where the fuck
fuel
do I find
resource
it?
glitch. Broken
exactly.
fuel. Because I'm sure there's some mission you can do in 2 seconds that you just
Just
load
keep
and
loading
load
it,
and
yeah.
load, but I just haven't gone and done it.
Figure that out. Yeah. Another thing that I think is really cool about this game is it reminds me of playing Grand Theft Auto 3, where I started to become really familiar with the city. So it's
Yeah.
like when you're doing the different missions, you're like, oh, I know that rock.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I've been to this base before or whatever. So it's like you get familiar just with like the terrain, and it's just weird how you start feeling more like Big Boss as you're playing,
Right.
and it's just like you just understand the game better.
Right.
Well, for me, it's been fascinating. Just given the fact that zero context in the Metal Gear series coming in, like you guys are all talking about the differences and the nuances of the voice acting, and I'm just like, none of it matters to me because to me, David Hayter's not Snake. To me, I don't know what Snake is, right? I just have zero. It's
not
a,
this guy.
It's a blank
Totally
ground for it.
casual.
Well, I like Kiefer Sutherland also, so I bring that.
I don't got nothing. I got nothing
Yeah,
against
you
Keeper.
know.
I have everything.
I'm a big
against
Lost
Wish you would
Boys
have done more
fan.
for the game. I wish you would have been in a little bit more of the game.
I heard
but
he doesn't talk much.
he
does.
doesn't.
It's like this is not Snake. This
People talk
character,
to
at
him
least
a
as
lot.
far as I've played, and I have put maybe 20 hours in. Like he said, maybe like 3 things.
Are you listening to the tapes?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of the tapes,
Yeah.
but I don't know who the fuck's talking.
A lot of the tapes don't have him in it either.
Like my biggest critique of Metal Gear is the fact that Snake's not Snake, and my second biggest critique is the story. The lack of Metal Gear isms, even though there is stuff. My third is the fact that there's no codex conversations.
Yeah.
It's all cassette conversations, which whatever, it's the same fucking thing. The difference is you don't see the people.
Yeah.
So you'll hear people talking, and between Miller and Ocelot and Snake, they all sound close enough that if you don't see them talking, you're not really clear who's talking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that doesn't sound like just a me problem.
Yeah.
No, I mean I have it. It's because Troy sound like whoever does the voice acting for Miller sounds a lot like Troy. So, like, and for me with zero context, I thought Ocelot was talking to me for a while until Greg was like, "No, that's Miller that's talking to me." I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that."
We had this conversation in the car yesterday, and then when I was playing last night, I stopped and listened. I don't see it.
Yeah.
And it's just probably one of those things that I'm just way too close to it.
You
I've
are.
played too much of the game. I know Troy's voice too well, but it's just
Yeah.
like,
Oh, no,
Troy has
I
like
just
a
think Troy
southern
did it all.
drawl to it. Troy did all
I
of
just
it?
assumed. Well, no, I thought that Troy did a different voice for
Miller.
I mean,
So I just thought
that's
that-
how like weirdly to me that does sound that way.
I'm not
Because
saying you're
for me,
crazy. I'm just saying for me, I couldn't catch it.
It sounds like Troy. Like Ocelot is Troy.
Yeah.
And Miller sounds like Troy making a voice.
Yeah. No, granted, I mean, this is the other thing that I'm blown away by is just in general, Metal Gear is weird. It's quirky. It's strange. And
what's fun about it.
if you look at it from an outsider perspective, like I used to have, I was like, this game doesn't make any sense and it's stupid. Going into it, the nuances, those little tiny things that are quirky, are the fun part of it, and it's all done so well that it almost threw me off. Where I'm like, it's like watching a cult classic movie that's really, really well done, but you just don't get it for some reason at first, and then you watch it like 5 years later, and you're like, oh, okay, these were all intentional. Like the way of telling stories, the kookiness of it a little bit kind of all builds into the world that Kojima's created. But the production value is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that when you're talking about, and you're talking about going in bases, where I'm like, I have a feel for it now. I know how to sneak around people now. Now I'm going from kind of being scared of the game to going like, I'm going to own this fucking
Right.
level. And even if shit goes down.
And that was the
whatevs.
thing going back to last night for me. I'm doing Where the Beast Sleep or whatever, and like you're talking about, I knew the perfect path to get up, and then it's the one with the basically I always call it like the giant pit because I always approach from the top, and then there's the ruins in the back, and it's all maze like or whatever, right? But I remember playing that the first time with Peeler, and then going through and doing side ops there, and it was always that I'm coming in, and it's like, fuck, I think okay, and then oh shit, he sees him.
The
and then,
one with the tank was hard because it's in the middle. and it
There's
just-
always something that seemed to go wrong. You know what I mean? At the very end, and I'd have that or whatever. And then like last night, it just came in and it was just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
Well,
it's
it
like,
helps
holy
when you have a
shit, like-
super leveled up
Yeah.
silent sniper rifle.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And like, even not even
I got a
using
freaking
this.
an SMG
You're
with
missing the point of the story. I'm saying yes, coming back hours later to this thing
for
that
sure.
was like I remember being
Yeah.
challenging, and now it's just like you fucking wipe out everybody.
Yeah,
I
and that's
think
fun. That's
the,
a good
The
moment.
best thing about the game, the best compliment I can give it, is that it makes you feel like so many times, like you feel like a badass or whatever. But when you're early on in the game, or where I'm at, when you face a hard level and like you're sneaking, you're like, I don't know how the fuck to do this. When you're there and someone's walking by, there is nothing like that stress and that tension you feel. Where in real life you're not moving. You know what I mean? And it's like that's when you know a video game's doing good is when it's fucking with you in real life.
Dude, at least you don't have, like when you go home now to your place that you because you moved to a new place and no one's there, at least you got that. I got a wife and I love my wife. And I give her a lot of shit on the show, but she's an amazing human being. She doesn't get the video game etiquette though, and especially when I'm sneaking around, it's dark. She's trying to talk to me. She's doing the thing like, gets up, walks in front of the screen as people are like right as I'm like trying to just cheat around a rock while someone else is walking this way. She just walks in front. It's and I'm like, God, woman.
Yeah, that's what I love about Christine. That she gets it.
She gets it.
Last night I was sitting in bed playing it, and she's reading a book next to me, and so she's like, so do you have to listen to these cassettes for like the story for the game? And I'm like, well, no, like I already know a story. They give you a little bit more. You know, I've just been playing now because I want to clear them all off, but I do want to listen to every one of them, and I'm almost through. And she's like, no, do you have to listen like for a trophy tonight? And I was like, oh no, you're trying to read a book. Sorry, yeah. She can deal with like the grass and the helicopters and like there's no shooting usually.
Right.
Knock on wood. But like hearing Ocelot and Miller tell us what the fuck's going on in Afghanistan. She's like, don't need to hear that right now.
Yeah.
Oh man.